Hey Blades fans, welcome back to Hertz Arena and another Florida Everblades pregame show. I'm Hannah Jo Groves alongside Jake Maurice. Jake, the Blades are finally back after being on the road last week. Wanted to focus specifically on the two games that they had Friday and Saturday against the Savannah Ghost Pirates. Friday, unfortunately, was a 4-2 loss, but it started off a little interestingly at the 5-minute mark of the first period. Can you kind of walk us through what happened there?
Well, yeah, one of their players, Tristan Amonte, scoring twice within 10 seconds of one another, and unfortunately that really just shifted the momentum of the game in the first period. It was obviously scoreless until then, and then all of a sudden you're in a 2-goal hole. End Market Arena is very loud. The team on the other side is feeling great. Florida did a really good job of battling back in that game, tied it up early in the third of the power play goal, but then unfortunately got into some penalty trouble late and surrendered the game-winning goal with under 5 minutes left to go.
So Logan Landon really stepping up lately. What have you liked about his game?
I mean, he's always been someone who's a consistent contributor, and it's starting to come through now, as you said, getting the multi-point games back-to-back succession. Very nice to see that. It took him a little bit of time. Of course, you're coming off a injury at the start of the year where you don't play until the calendar flips. That's a lot of time to not be out there, where you've got to catch up to game speed, get used to new line mates with some new teammates compared to last season. So it took him a little bit, but now he's got his legs under him, he's got his hands working well, and he's got some good chemistry with those new line mates. So now some stuff's starting to go in for him and the other guys on the ice alongside him. It's just great to see him back out there. He's always a fun player to watch, and yeah, I'm expecting him to continue to be a contributor for a team that needs it right now with a banged up forward core.
Yeah, so he is part of our good news. Another piece of good news is that Saturday, not to spoil the end, but we did get the overtime win.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah, in case you didn't know. Anthony Romano was the hero once again in that. Also a defensive battle that Saturday game. What can you say about defense and special teams, too?
Well, first off, both goaltenders were superb in that game.
Yes.
Will Cranley for Florida made a couple of amazing stops. Noah Giesbrecht on the other side was a major reason Savannah was able to squeak out a point from Florida in that one. Defense and special teams power play, unfortunately couldn't continue their success from Friday, but the penalty kill was superb. Going 5 for 5 in that game, huge, nice, including some very important ones in a tie to third period. And then on the other side, defensively, Florida just seemed they were able to handle Savannah's speed better than they were on Friday. Good adjustments by the coaching staff helping lead to that, putting the defenders into better spots. And when they were there, they made the right plays, eventually get into overtime, and Florida had the puck for the entire 22 seconds before the team's leading scorer goes to the right spot, puck comes right to him, and he backhands it in.
What a great shot and a great moment for the Blades to come back home on a win, too. It's very good momentum going that way. And hey, Jake, we should probably tell fans, where is Will Cranley right now?
Well, unfortunately, Will Cranley has been unfortunately for us, it's great for him.
Great for him.
Has been called up to the American Hockey League, to the Springfield Thunderbirds, our affiliate. So we certainly wish him the best up there. Everblades will have to make some adjustments with their goaltending. They've traded for Kyle McClellan from the Cincinnati Cyclones. So he will be here to support Cam Johnson, who's getting the start tonight. And I would imagine Johnson will get a good number of the games going forward. We have no clue on a timetable for when Cranley will be back. Last time he got called up, this is his second of the season. He was gone for about 3 weeks, so a good amount of time back then. The Everblades have David Tendick.
Right.
Now we've got Kyle McClellan, who he'll get in some starts for sure.
Right.
But certainly tonight and going forward, CJ is the Blades guy now.
Well, that's how it's been in the past, so it's nothing new for Blades fans.
Yeah, back to the status quo.
Exactly. Well, so yeah, going into tonight, going up against the Maine Mariners, this is not a team we know very well at all. So can you give the Blades fans what they should kind of know?
Well, right now, Maine is in the 4th spot in the North Division. They're a team that has some good size, a lot of good talent up front. They're also a team that's a little banged up like us right now. They also have a goalie in Luke Cavlin, and very familiar face around here, that got called up to the American Hockey League, so he's not there for the Mariners for this game. And also, with it being a team, we haven't played them since 2021. That was in Maine in November for one game, the only meeting ever against them.
Wow.
Only Cam Johnson and Jordan Sandbrook played in that game and are still on the Everblades. And also on the other side for Maine was Connor Doherty at the time, so it's been that long since the Blades have played the Mariners. There's going to be a little bit of a sort of slower, methodical start where both teams are kind of trying to feel each other out. The video room has been working overtime for both these clubs, especially Florida, to try and get as much information as you can about the other side, but there's nothing that substitutes in for on-ice experience and getting to actually see how they skate out there, how they play their systems, what roles where. might be a little bit of a slower start for both clubs, and then whoever can get to their game first and use that to dictate the pace of play has control of things.
Okay, so yeah, you don't have a ton of reference for this next question that I'm going to ask you, but can you give us the Direct Effect Marketing 3 keys of the game? What's it going to take to hopefully get a win? I know that was one of them that you just said.
Yeah, one of them is going to be which team can get to their game first, which team can get out of that feeling out process faster, get comfortable, and find ways to exploit things they figure out about the other opponent. Special teams are going to be important this week. Maine has a top 10 power play and penalty kill, so both units for Florida are going to be under some strain this week. So big test. You need them to come through against the best. This is a good test this week. And then finally, as you said, we're back on home ice. We've got a season-high 5-game homestand. This is a big stretch for Florida. Stash some points. A lot of the toughest travel for the season is now done for the regular season. Now that we're back on home ice, take advantage of your crowd, use the energy swells that they give you, and try and start it off the right way this week at home so that the homestand starts off on a good note.
And we've got a good homestand coming up because one of these nights is Star Wars night, and we've already got the jersey up for auction on that Dash Auction app, so make sure you check that out. The proceeds will benefit the Hospital for Special Surgeries by NCH. It's a good cause, and they're really cool-looking jerseys.
Yeah, if you're a big Star Wars fan, this is definitely one you want to get your hands on.
Absolutely. Well, next up, we've got warm-ups, and then it's the Maine Mariners versus your Florida Everblades. We'll see you there.